Hi, so if you're watching this video, you must be new to either Cardozo Middle School or new to my art class. So once again, welcome, and I'm glad you're here and in the class. I wanted to quickly go over some very important things that's going to help you to acclimate to the class, to gradually build up to where it'll help you with the rest of the assignments instead of just jumping in. Okay, so there's three things I'm going to go over. These two handouts. You can do this on blank paper, by the way. Seeing, correcting, and then the other handout is value. Okay, so I'm going to start off with drawing by actually with correcting. Let's do correcting first. Okay, so it says here, draw a freehand and correct a circle in box 1. Okay, so I'll get something down. It's not the world's best circle. I'll zoom in on it here so you can see it. So I need to correct this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just I see that it's too long this way and short that way. So I need to correct that part of it. Okay, and I'm sketching very lightly. Okay, and notice how I'm holding the pencil. Let me go over a couple things real quick. Actually, even before that, you probably want to practice number 1, how to hold the pencil. If you're going to write letters or a word, you would hold the pencil this way, but in drawing you hold up on the pencil a little bit and you add a little bit more at an angle. And many times, instead of drawing with your fingers or your hand, you actually move your whole shoulder, your whole arm moves. Okay, so just to get warmed up, this will probably be a good start here, is to barely press down on the paper. I'm holding it different with my fingers and my hand, and I'm drawing more with my arm. Okay, so why don't you practice that? Make a couple circles and like that. Okay. Next, once again, we corrected this circle. Let me zoom in on it. I did it lightly, and now once I get it the way I want it, then I can press down a little harder. It's not the world's best circle, but it's better than what I started with. And I could keep correcting that and make it better and better. Okay. Next one is a triangle. Again, just get something down, but I know a triangle has straight lines. Okay. So and I like to move my paper to match how my hand is facing. So again, lightly, I'll make straight lines. And go ahead and keep those sketch marks in there for the purpose of this assignment. Once you get it the way you want, you can do it nice and dark. Press down harder with a pencil. And that's a better triangle than what I started with. Okay. Last one is a square. So again, just get a square down. That's not the best square. Kind of exaggerating this so you can see it. But a square is straight up and down, and all of the sides are the same length. So that's going to be a much better square. I'll get it dark. Okay, so I've corrected 3 shapes there. Okay. Circle, triangle, square. Okay. Next, drawing by seeing. We're going to do that a lot in this class. So this is usually what we think of in our mind, what a quarter looks like. Perfect circle and all the details inside. But we don't always want to draw from our mind. We want to draw with our eyes by seeing. Draw by seeing. Okay, so this is more what we would usually see a quarter with our eyes. Maybe if it's on the table, off to the side, the angle we see it at, our point of view, we see it like this. This would be drawing by seeing. You know, we would try to copy this in a drawing. Instead of trying to draw a perfect circle here, it's going to be more of an oval. Okay, so again, I'll get something down. I'm going to correct it. I'll look often at what I'm drawing from. That's a big part of drawing by seeing. So not just looking once, remembering everything, and then drawing it all from memory. No, you want to look back and forth. So I'm looking here, and I see that it's a little more narrow on the sides. Maybe even like that. I think something like that's pretty good. Okay, to get started. And then notice between these two that George Washington's head is shrunk down. Kind of, it's not wider, but it's shorter. So you look often at what you're drawing from. Just get something started, and you can make corrections. You don't have to worry. One thing I like about drawing is you can always make changes, especially with a pencil, regular pencil. Okay. Oh, I see. Now I'm going to make a correction. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up a little, the bottom of the neck, because it's even shorter than I had thought. And I noticed that by looking here. I can make a correction on the nose. The nose is a little bit more at a different angle. Okay, and you can work on that more and more. Alright, so it's not a perfect circle. Not like this, it's more like that. Drawing by seeing. Okay? Alright, next. I'm going to go over the element of value real quick here. So first of all, I'll let you read all of this. It's important. I want you to read that. But not make this video not too long, it's how hard you press down with a pencil. Okay, so I'm going to try to copy these values. I always like to start with the darkest value, and so that's how hard you push down. Okay, so I'm going to push down pretty hard enough so it's black, but not too hard where I break the pencil. Try to stay inside the lines. You always want to have good craftsmanship. I like to turn my paper. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I might be able to spend a little more time and make that better, but that's pretty good. You know, nice dark value, solid. Let me talk about solid real quick on the back here. So if I had a couple squares, this would not be solid. You don't want to do that. Going outside the lines where you can see the white of the paper. Solid is like this, where you completely cover up the paper and you're inside the lines. That is solid. Okay? Solid, not solid. So that's what I'm talking about here. this is nice and solid. Okay, that's good craftsmanship. Okay, on the, each one of these you press down less and less until it gets lighter. I'm not going to do them all. I'm going to do a 5 value. I'm going to start out lighter than I need. I'm not pressing down that hard. Yeah, it's a little bit of drawing by seeing. I need to look often at what I'm kind of copying here. And so you can always make it darker by pressing down harder. It's a little bit harder to erase, especially with the darker values. Okay, but this is a 5 value, so I'm going to go ahead and try to use good craftsmanship, make it nice and solid in there. Okay, I'm going to try to make, I think I'll make it a little bit darker. It's actually good to go in different directions so you can get it nice and solid. Okay, that's good. And then I'll just show you this last one. Now this last one is pretty tough, but you probably want to use a dull pencil, not too sharp, but you just barely touch the paper. Barely touching the paper. Okay, I could probably do a better job. I just don't want to take too much time. Zoom out. Okay, so it's how hard you press down. Press down very hard, press down medium pressure, like a 5 pressure, 10 pressure, and a 1 pressure. And those give you those values. 1 pressure gives you a 1 value, 5 pressure gives you a 5 value, 10 pressure gives you a 10 value. Okay, and you would want to finish all of those like this. Now blending real quick. Again, I like to start with the darkest area, and again start out lighter than you need. You can always make it darker. Okay. Okay, I can, this is a smooth blend from dark to light. To where you barely touched the paper. Okay. So you can just keep on doing this until it looks like you really should have the very end should be white, a little line of white. This should actually go out a little further, but once you get over in here, you can do the edges, and again it's just lighter and lighter and lighter. You press down less and less, and so it's a light value. Okay. And again, you can just keep going over that to make it nice and smooth blend. I'm not going to finish this in the interest of time. I don't want this to be too long, but I got you started. Okay, So those are very important things. How you hold the pencil, you're kind of drawing a lot of times with your arm, not your hand. Start out sketching lightly. Solid colors for good craftsmanship. Good craftsmanship. Correcting and drawing by seeing, looking often, you know, not what you think it is in your mind, but what you actually see, and look often. And then values. Okay, 0 to 10, there's nothing there for 0 value, and it just gets darker. The harder you press down, the darker it gets. You use that a lot in drawing. Okay, so hopefully that'll give you a good start.